Welcome everybody. Today is we're going to be shooting chapter 14, and today's content we're going to come inside into the shop and get back to some more regular woodworking slash shop slash yard content. We are expecting a blizzard tomorrow, but I'm not sure if I'm going to video the driveway again. You guys have seen it twice. That might be enough. But anyway, today's video is going to be about dust collection. As you know, my bathroom vanity build is kind of on hold a little bit while I wait for solid carbide spiral up router bit that I ordered a couple of days ago. It's going to be here early next week. And I really need to have dust collection to my thickness sander so that I can sand the oak that I glued up for the drawer faces and the doors. So yeah, it's been a little bit frustrating. I'd like to be going on that bathroom because it is important, but we are kind of in stall mode here. But anyway, today we're going to start a little bit of a series on my dust collection in here. And what I'm going to work on today is the barrel that goes under here and collects all the dust. Usually you can buy a barrel with your system, and to be honest, when I bought this system used, the fellow that was running it had a standard metal garbage can with MDF top that he had made for it, and that was handling his dust collection chores. I don't think he was generating a lot of dust. It was mostly from a table saw and a CNC that he had that was in his shop, but I wanted something a little bit bigger. So before we get too far into talking about the barrel itself, I just want to show you what my dust collection system is. So I'm going to step to the camera, tilt it up, and then come back and continue. So, okay, we're back. I hope you can still see me. Basically what I have here is what I would call a first generation Clearview. It is a standard Clearview. It's made out of MDF. A lot of people come into the shop and think that I made it myself, but no, that's not the case. And it has polycarbonate cyclone, and you'll notice that there's a piece of sheet metal here. That isn't supposed to be like that. That's supposed to be polycarbonate, but when I bought this thing, and I believe I bought it in 2017, end of 2017, and I figured, like, my shop was unbelievably full. Nothing, I had no cabinets to organize anything, nothing was put away, nothing on the walls. It was terrible. I had everything on those plastic shelving units, the stack ones, and it was terrible in here. I had about 10 square feet here where I had this lying on the floor and trying to get things made to hang it up. So I made that bracket up there, and while I was trying to hang it, I lost control of it and I dropped it. And of course, right under my feet was the cyclone, and that big bracket fell on this piece here and broke it off. So I had a little bit of playing around to do, and early in 2018, no, sorry, to the end of 2018, early 2019, I was quite sick and basically took half a year off work. And while I was lying on my Chesterfield watching YouTube and hooked up to IV, I decided I would just get this bent out of metal and be done with it. So once I started feeling better that I could come out to the shop, I made a cardboard template, took it to one of the sheet metal places in Saskatoon and had it rebuilt. So they did a nice job. It looks exactly like my cardboard did. This piece here that the system or the piping hooks up to is original Clearview, and but that's why that section of tin is there. It shouldn't be there. I think these are wind filters, I'm not sure what they are, but they are original to this unit. Another thing I need to do with this is, this unit is mounted probably about 8 inches higher in my shop than it was in the shop that I purchased it out of. And the clean out for the filters, I have it sitting, I have it sitting on an old hydraulic jack. So, but it's off the floor. Anyway, in the time of crisis, you use what you have. A couple of other things to point out. This has a 5-horse Leeson motor on it. I'm really happy about that. I believe this is a 15-inch impeller, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what it is. And the electrical there, my good friend and neighbor is very, very good electrician, and I know that when he does something, it's done right. And he's hooked all this stuff up for me. And my goal, we're not going to go with any automatic blast gates or anything like that. I've got a remote here when I want to turn it on. And off. So this collector will only run part of the time. It's just when I'm using a tool, which I think will be a lot quieter. Right now, it's really loud because nothing's baffled. Like the barrel isn't in, the dust collection pipe isn't in. It's really loud. So that's coming though. We're going to be able to use this thing in the next 2 weeks. Okay, so that's the dust collector itself. I think that's enough explanation. Okay, I'm going to sneak back to the camera and I'm going to tilt it down again and we're going to look at the barrel. So what's going to happen is I need to cut a hole in here 6 inches big so that I can take a piece of flexible and hook up to here with 2 hose clamps. So one on here and one on here. This is a really, really good barrel. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut a hole in here, top, and then I marked it out already. I'm going to put a little sight glass in here. Now that's not going to work good initially because I won't have any light inside the barrel. But eventually I think I'm going to talk to my electrician friend and we're going to somehow put maybe a low voltage light in here that lights up the interior of the can, and then I'll be able to see when the can is full. So that's what's planned for this. I don't think I can tip it over and show you, but there is a little section of video that I shot last December because I knew I was going to be on YouTube soon anyway, and I welded 4 casters onto the bottom of the barrel, so that'll be included in this video as well. Now, as far as the barrel itself goes, I decided to go with a steel barrel. I debated at hemmed and hawed for quite a while. Plastic barrels, it's easy to get food grade plastic, they're nice and clean. But I probably shouldn't have been concerned because this is plastic. So going into a plastic barrel probably wouldn't have been a problem. I've always had a bit of a phobia about fires. And the last thing I want is the shop to burn down so that I have to start all over again. This has taken me long enough to do. So I decided on a metal barrel, partly for the safety aspect of it. The other reason I like this, well, it depends. In Canada, it's a 45-gallon drum. I think 55 US gallons or whatever. But it's a little bigger than most containers that you get. And that way I'm hoping it fills slower than, say, the standard garbage can, which the previous owner had. So that's what's going to happen today. We're going to cut those 2 holes. The barrel, I have wheels on it so it'll roll. I think eventually we're going to put a handle on it so that I can grab it and tip it in. The downsides of this metal barrel is it's heavy. And I have to lift the barrel to dump the contents into my residential garbage container. So what I'm toying with is maybe putting a bag in here and then some kind of a liner that holds the bag in. And then when it's full, take the lid off, slide the liner out, take the bag out and dispose of it. So we'll see. But this barrel is in great condition. I had to take the ring off before I started shooting video because this thing goes on so tight. It's got a wonderful seal in here. It fits on, and then it has, oops, a really nice locking ring on it. So I don't think I'll have any problem sealing the top of the barrel, which is important. So anyway, that was my choice. And eventually, once all the cutting and everything's done, we are gonna paint this up really nice and make it cool. So anyway, it seems kind of silly making a video about a barrel, but it is an important part of getting my dust collection running. So if it's important, then chances are I'm going to show it. So anyway, I'm going to go into the actual construction of things now, and I'll kind of leave it as a surprise as to what clip comes next. Okay, we'll see you in a bit. Okay, so that's that. Okay, here we go. We're just going to spot this on. Oh yeah, I can live with that. That looks pretty good. Okay, we're going to do the other one here. Nice. And as a rookie welder, it's okay to lift your helmet up every once in a while and pat yourself on the back for a job well done. That looks pretty good. Now I'm going to put those little welds front and back that I talked about earlier. So we're going to do that quickly here. Okay, the back one first. Oh, am I on today? I can live with that. That's it. Okay, we're trying a little bit of new technology here. We picked up a cheap microphone in the city the other day, and we're doing a voiceover, so we'll see how this goes. Yeah, in the video there, you can see that my hole saw is really not working properly. The hole saw is decent, but it just, my drill, for some reason, the chuck would loosen up when it was operating it. Maybe there was vibration or whatever that didn't get along with my keyless chuck, but eventually all things worked out. That lid of that barrel is really, really a good lid. I was impressed when I bought the barrel for the dust collection aspect of it. It'll seal really nicely. There won't be any vacuum escaping through that. But here I am. It's getting close. Also found that switching to the low speed on the drill really did help. So as you can see, eventually we got through, and there I am just admiring my hard work and moving on to the next thing. And the next thing is drilling the holes for the sight glass. So here I am just marking the centers of those holes with my unibit and trying to get my drill set up with a 3-inch hole saw, which the hole saw that I have isn't very good here. And really all it ended up doing is kind of marking the holes for me. Essentially, we took the paint off the barrel. That's about all that happened.
So after a few minutes of fooling around with it, I realized I'd have to move to a different technology. Considered using my plasma cutter, but I don't like sparks flying around in the shop now. So out came the jigsaw, and I have a wonderful Bosch JS470E saw, which is wonderful. And then just to take the sharpness off the edges, I hooked up my little die grinder with a burr on it to my air compressor and went around the holes and got them done properly. Now there's no sharp edges to get cut on, and everything worked out really well. So in the end, it's a little bit of trial and error, but it worked.
Okay, well, the hole successfully cut. I cut a piece of, it's just a smidge over an eighth plexiglass that I had laying around. Formed it a little bit, put a little bit of curve in it, and now I'm just pop riveting it on. So I decided to get this going off camera because it was a little hard to hold. But now I've got almost 2 rivets in here, and let's put in the second one. There we go. That worked out nicely. I've got lots of silicone in there. I'm thinking that will make a nice airtight seal. Actually looks pretty good from the outside. I'm kind of happy with that. Okay, I'm going to drill a few more holes here. Not sure if I'll keep you around for all of it, but we'll try to keep the holes nice and symmetrical. Whew. Okay, that didn't work out terribly well. I was a little close to the edge. Luckily, I think we still have a shot at it here. It also went through and twisted the drill in my hand too. There we go. Much better. Okay, let's put in another rivet here. So, of course, my rivets are not where they should be. Okay. I'll have to fill that other hole. I think I'll just put a rivet head in it and be done with it. There we go. Okay, and I think I'm just going to put one more rivet in and it's going to be good. And then I'll just deal with the silicone on the side here. Make sure there's lots. And I think that's all I'm going to show you of this for now. I just have one. Okay, well, with sight glass successfully, well, sort of successfully installed, I'll show it to you later. It's time to move on to the 6-inch connector on the top. And instead of getting the right piece, I just went into Home Depot and bought a piece. And the problem with this piece was it was about that tall. And that's too high. I need it tight like this. So what I did is I took it apart, drilled out the spot welds and took it apart. And now I'm going to redo those spot welds. And I just so happen to have a spot welder here. This one I got from Harbor Freight. They were very good to deal with. They sent me the wrong one, but there was really nothing we could do about it, so shipping it back was an option. I wanted the 220 version, and thank goodness they sent me the 110 by mistake, because it was what I needed. During COVID, we did sheet metal work in Hepburn School in the art room. And the nice thing about doing it there was you have to time this. It's about 5 seconds, so count to 5 and away you go. You'll see me in a minute. But their breaker would do just enough to do one weld. So we'd have to send somebody run back, turn the breaker back on the way it went. Anyway, it's plugged in, it's ready to go. I'm gonna line up the holes that I drilled out, so that should be right. Now what you want to do is you want to lift this up and then you want to clamp this between, and then that was about 5 seconds and you've got a spot weld. So I'm going to okay, here we go again. Oh, come on. No, that one didn't go. Okay, I don't have much metal here, but that first one's going to hold really well. Nope, I got to give it a little more. I think the reason I have to give it more is because I'm not getting it completely tight. There we go. Okay, so those are nice tight joints. It's a little kinky, so we'll give it my best. Sheet metal work here. I am so much not a sheet metal worker. I think now I could probably bend this by hand. Oh, that's hot. Okay, so I'm going to set this down, and then I'm going to do the same to this one. But I want to make sure that this fits onto there. Okay, if I get it tight, can I get that to fit on? I didn't get the very nicest cut here because I had nothing to cut that with. And the tin snip didn't want to quite go where I wanted it to go. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to gamble a little bit here. I'm going to push this together as far as it goes. Maybe even a scooch further. Oh, yeah, that would work. The things you figure out when you have to, okay? Okay, I think. Oh, I see. That wasn't far enough anyway. Those holes don't actually line up. Okay, we're going to try that. I can always reverse these if I have to. Boy, I got to give that a little bit more time. Not sure why. Oh, well. Ow, that is hot. We do what? There we go. Okay, I think that's it. Oops. My shop is so full that, yeah, I'm not proud of it, but it's kind of the way it is now. Okay, I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break here. I need a tool that I'm going to make these two fit together. So, we're going to... Okay, this is a crimper, and it's designed to make ends that look like this. So one pipe can slide over another. And it shouldn't really need it, but I'm going to go around and give it a little bit of a crimp so that these pieces join together properly. And then I'm going to spot weld them together because they need to be. And then I think everything, when it's all pop riveted on, I think we're going to give everything a healthy dose of silicone to keep everything together. And away we go. This is a nice tool. I couldn't find it the other day when I was looking for it, and here it was hanging on the panel behind the metal lathe, just right in the open. So, but I did eventually see it, and this is going to come in really handy when I start doing ducting. I've played with it a little bit, and I've got a couple of pieces hanging, as you can see in the background, but it isn't good yet. There we go. See, I think I'm going to pull it up just a little higher. Come on. Oops, too far. It wants to go all the way to the bottom because that's the way it was made, and I think I'm going to try to change it just a wee bit. And maybe what I should do is figure out where that is. I'd say about there. And then I should spot weld that on. Maybe that's a little too much. Right about there. That was a bit of a slow count to 5. I hope I did that right. Oh well, we'll find out. Okay, there's a little bit of air in there, not getting them quite perfectly tight together, and then it's causing issues. Okay, I think the height is good. So now it's time to work my way around and weld this thing on. Okay, well, it ain't pretty, but I think it's gonna work. This would have been better if I could have found something like this. I think it must exist, but all of them were tall, and I don't have the height to get that in. So I guess I made this on my own, and we'll see how it works. I might try a couple more spot welds yet, but I think I'll do that off camera. You guys have seen enough, and we'll come back to whatever's next. Okay, if I can squeeze in here, I put this on. It's got an adhesive gasket on it, so there's a little bit of neoprene, and it's sticky, so it's sticking in place. So all I'm going to do is put in some rivets, and we're going to have this top done. Woo! That's why my shop is such a mess. Okay, well, let's go here. There we go. There we go. there we go. I'm gonna put 4 in for now. I think I'm gonna put some silicone in here. Gonna maybe put 1 in between yet, but I think you guys have got the picture of it, so I'm just gonna put these in off camera, get it done. And then I'm gonna cut a piece of 6-inch flexible to go in here. I've got a nice piece already with 2 good clamps on it. So I'm gonna finish that off, and then this is gonna be done. Well, we're back. It's evening, it's after supper. Before I left, I siliconed everything, and it's to the point now where it's dry enough I can work with it. Pretty much all that needs to happen is I need to get this under there. I'm hoping it'll fit. I tried to leave a little bit extra, so I'm just gonna try to work this underneath there. It's gonna be tight. Now I'm just gonna rotate it so the sight glass is to the front. Try to get this so that it clamps on the front. And where did I put my, oops, sorry, got to step out here. That's what you call effective planning. And by Jove, I think we've got it. Okay, boy, I'm running out of places. I guess I put on the floor. Okay, and we should slide. Boy, this is really nice and tight. Okay, and I'll come. Yep, that's the right way. There we go. Not quite lined up perfectly, but that would do. Okay, well, I really think we need to try this, see if there's any difference in sound here. Probably stepped out of frame for this, but oh, come on. What have we done here? Okay, got the remote again. Okay, well, that was an interesting afternoon. Basically, I tend to just get out here in the afternoons these days, spend the morning doing my social media stuff and some other things, and yeah, this actually worked out really quite well. The only mistake, well, I shouldn't say mistake, the only thing that happened that I'm not crazy about is when I put that pop rivet in, this cracked. But it's staying together nicely, and now it's all full of dust, you can't see it. What I may do is put a little bit of super glue or something on the crack just to hold it together. As long as it's airtight, I think it's going to be fine. But eventually I will probably change that. I don't think I have any thin plexiglass like that now. But it's progress, and the next thing I need to do is establish the piping for, I want to get a run to my thickness sander in the next week or so that I can start working on my bathroom vanity again. And then in there we're doing a turning class, my normal Tuesday group, and Hub City Turners class, so things are pretty busy. So, and that's great, I love it. So, well, I guess that's the end of this video. So hopefully all the new stuff, I was hoping to try some voiceover stuff. I hope I got that to work. But yeah, like and subscribe please, share this video. There will be more woodworking content coming in the future, and that's kind of what this channel is all going to be about. So like I said, like and subscribe, and we will see you in what, chapter 15? Probably maybe as early as Sunday or Monday. Okay, take care, have an awesome week everybody, and we'll see you soon.